So I wanted to do a little video here on how to rekey a, this is a Jeep TJ cylinder lock. This one here I've already done. This is on the passenger side. You have to make sure when you take these things out the door, you know the orientation. This little window here needs to be facing up for the passenger side, and the driver's side it has to be down. So let's get to it. The part that I used is a Crown Automotive. I don't really recommend them too much. These things are kind of cheap, and what I mean by that is the casting was kind of garbage. Whatever this coating is that they're putting on them, I end up taking a toenail clipper with a file here and end up using this file to take off all the sharp edges. The same thing I had problems with is this piece here. This is where the springs and the tumblers all go. And again, I had to take that file from the toenail clippers and go through there and flip it around on both sides and shave down and take out all the rough spots. I don't think you all can see it on the camera there. I don't know, maybe you could see if I catch it with the light. But anyway, so I chose not to reuse these. I just felt like these are pretty cheap. I ended up reusing the original ones. I use this cylinder, but I'll use the original. Now, getting to it, I actually bought 2 new locks, and this is the problem I ran into. So what you're going to do is, there is a, let's see if I can grab it. This here, this thing's all mangled. This was a cap that was pressed on. The first thing you want to do is, this is after you get the whole thing out of the vehicle, and you've got your lock on the table here. First thing you're going to do is you're going to remove this little, well, I guess it doesn't really matter whether you remove this side or not, but I prefer to take this little clip, slide it off, and pull off this little bracket here, get it out your way, and then you can kind of start working on this side. When you work on this side, again, like I said, the original is a pressed on fit. Get you some dikes, get you some nice sized dikes, not the short ones. What you want to do is you want to start prying on this edge and start peeling it back. Now, what's very, very important that you don't do what I did, which is, you will see, I broke it off there. You want to start prying in this area here where you have, you have more meat here supporting this lip. So you can see what I did here is I started prying here, didn't even pay attention, and pop, broke it off. So this one's destroyed. So once you get this piece off of here, you pull that off. You actually have behind this this little chrome cap. Now the rebuild kits come with chrome, or you can get with black. And this one here is black, and this one here is chrome. This is just a protective coating on it. Once you peel off the chrome cap, this will be behind it. And let's see if I can throw one together real quick here. I have to get a key. I'm going to shove it back in. So once that's in there, in the kit here, you have springs. So you just drop your spring in there and drop your spring in there. Or, as I should say, removing it, you would first, this would be on here, and I can't remember which way this went. So there's like a little pattern there, I believe, with the spring here. This would get pressed into place here. So like I said, you pull the cap off, you end up taking some pliers, you pull this off. It's okay if you destroyed it, because well, I take that back. If you're going to reuse it, don't destroy it. But if it comes in the kit, well, it's okay if you kind of bend it up, mess it up. Once you pull this off, then you can pull out your springs. And like I said, you're going to already have pulled off this little bracket here, and all you got to basically do is just push it right on out. And this is your tumblers. So you can go ahead and put this off to the side. Now, the way this works is the original owner. Now, my Jeep's a 1998 Jeep TJ, and the original owner, I bought some doors. It was 2006 full doors. This was his combination. The tumblers range from 1 through 4. Mine actually didn't use one of these numbers. It used more of the other numbers than the other. It uses tumblers 1 through 4, and as you can see, this was his pattern. If this thing is laid out like that, this is the 4 tumblers on top. He had 1, 3, 4, 3, and then his bottom combination for these 3 here is 3, 4, 2. That was the pattern. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to grab this little tumbler here, and you're going to rock it. You're going to kind of rock it that way. And you can either use some pliers, and you just kind of rock it back and forth and wiggle it. As you pull this thing on out, you got to be careful. There is a there's a little spring in there. You gotta either use a little pick or you can use your fingernail and you pull the spring out. I don't really want to do it because I've already got the correct combination in here. So once you pull all these things out, all the springs out, I usually take this piece, if you're going to reuse it, blast it with some brake cleaner, clean out all the old oil or grease that they may have in here, the dirt and the grime. Clean that all up. And what you're going to do is you're going to start off with one tumbler at a time. Doesn't matter which one it is, whether it's a 1, 2, 3, or 4. You're going to put that tumbler in there, and then what you're going to do is you're going to push it down, and you're going to basically slide your key in, which is your key from your ignition, whether it's a 97, 98, 99, doesn't matter. You're going to slide it in there, and you're going to look at this this tumbler. If this tumbler is sticking up, then that means it's the wrong tumbler. Then you got to go put in a number 1, a number 2, or number 3, and you go through that whole pattern, and you want all these tumblers to be nice and flat. As you can see here, all the tumblers have to be nice and flat on both sides. Oops, I just lost my spring. And that's another thing, you got to be careful. The springs do fall out easily. And you want this to be totally smooth and flat. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You got to be careful when you pull the key out. These things could come flying out, but most likely not. I'm going to put the wrong tumbler in this thing, and you will see what I'm talking about. Because when it's the wrong tumbler, or some people might call these a wafer, they kind of call it a tumbler / wafer. Kind of have to give it a little wiggle. There it goes, it popped in. See, it looks like they're all normal, right? They all look like they pop up the same. But when I go to put this key in there, push it down here. When I push that key in there, as you can see, let's see if you can, hopefully you can kind of see it on camera. This one here is the wrong one. So it's a little bit of a process, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it takes. Once you have this combination, like I've done here, I've drawn it out, how many slots and lines there is here. I've drawn it out so you can see. Once you figure out your combination of tumblers, then you know that, hey, this is the combination I need. Then you can go to your next door or your next tailgate or glove box and so on, and go from there. So like I said, this tumbler is wrong. I'm going to pull this tumbler out, and I'm going to put in the correct tumbler since we know that guy's wrong. So I'm going to stick in the correct tumbler into here, give it a little wiggle. There it goes, it pops in. Push these in, slide my key in, and as you can see, all these are nice and smooth. I actually had a problem with one of the tumblers. It was very, very hard to decipher which one it was. They were so close to each other. And I just decided, well, took this thing out, and putting in the cylinder and kind of moved it around. And it's like, well, then I grabbed this because each of these parts were slightly different because of, like I said, the different burrs and whatever this coating that they're using from the factory. You can see the original cylinders, they had no coating. So this must be some kind of a coating that protected, which kind of made it more of a pain in the butt. But like I said, just you kind of have to do the quality control yourself and take off the little burrs. But once it goes in there, it should be able to spin all around nice and smooth. If you feel like it's binding and it's not right, inspect this cylinder really well. And like I said, I think I said already, is take you a file, and I actually had to take the little toenail clipper file and actually filed here and took off the sharp edges both here and here. I even had a little piece in here I actually had to remove because whatever this coating is, like I said, they didn't really clean it up too well from the factory. But once all that was straight, this went in real smooth and it turned nicely. Now you don't really have to worry about turning that much. It's only, once you put it in there, it's only going to turn that way and about that far that way to unlock and lock your door. So that's really about it. Just make sure these are nice and smooth and they're not popping up. Now I have seen where some people, actually I have it upside down, this is how it went in the cylinder. So I've seen where some people, they couldn't figure out the combination. They took a file and filed this down, but I'm sorry, that's just stupid. Don't go cheap like that. Do it the correct way, get the right tumblers. I'm gonna put a link in the description on this video here so you can see where to get these tumblers. I think the brand name was called Stratic, but this guy here, I'll also put a link here. This was a kit for doing all of the doors and everything for a Jeep. And it's not just for a Jeep. I think it comes with other vehicles. Now, this person called it an 8-cut key. I don't really quite understand that because the amount it used here was actually 7 of these little tumblers. But whatever. I will put a link to this guy on eBay. Now, this little kit came with, I think he said 10 wafers between 1 and 4, but I counted them out. I think it's like 11 wafers he gives you. And I think he gave me about 20 of these springs. If you're doing just 2 doors, hey, that's fine. But with tax, $35 for these things, I don't know. I think I'd buy it through the links that I'm going to give to you. You can buy them in bulk, so it's like, I think it's a pack of number 1 tumblers, 100 of them in a pack, and I don't remember what it is, like $5, or maybe it was $10 a pack, $12, I can't remember. If you're going to do your friend's Jeeps, you can do yours, you're going to do more than just the doors. Like I said, you're going to do the glove box, the tailgate. I'd probably just spend a little bit more money and get a ton of wafers and go that route. But other than that, it's pretty simple. Just kind of reverse the pattern, shove that back in there. Oh, I'm sorry. I did put on the other one. I put white lithium grease. There was kits that I've seen online that came with some kind of a grease. I don't know if that was what I should use, but I just lightly coated them with white lithium grease and kind of spread it all around so it kind of got lubed up here in the cylinder. Put it in there, put my finger here, pulled it out. Like I said, added the 2 springs. You will see in this kit here, the springs are quite a bit bigger than the ones in that kit. As you can see, you just take these springs here, drop one in there, drop one in here, and you'll see like this little piece here and this little piece right here. That's kind of how I determined that the little spring side under there needs to be in that direction. So you just simply push that on there, of course peel off the cover, press that on there. Once that's on there, it'll snap in and it'll be tension for those springs. I'm going to pull it out for now. And then you have either a black cap or you want to go with your chrome. I went with a chrome. Now this is what my recommendation is. You will see how this thing's going to fit. Basically it fits like that. So you have one tab that will bend over here between these 2 lugs, another one that bends over here, another one here, and another here. Get you a washcloth and kind of stack it up, fold it a few times, and put this thing down on a washcloth as you kind of bend these over. I end up using a flathead screwdriver and just bent it over that way. Now this is, I don't know, these things were kind of cheap in my opinion. Some people have talked about, well, clearly you can see the black here, it's already chipped over. It's not worth a darn. I just threw the chrome on. I don't care for the black, but people complain about this black flaking off. It's going to happen. But yeah, these things are kind of cheap. I didn't really like it whenever I stuck them on the other one. As I bent them over, to be careful, I kind of put a couple indentions here, but if you're anal like me, well, you just got to get over it. So yeah, it wasn't too bad to do that. Anyway, after that went back together, see, after I did that, I then put, which was this piece here, back on there with the little clip. It comes with clips, but I didn't really like these. They're kind of all bent up, and I went with the original. The original clips I thought were a little bit thicker and better quality. Now, the brand that's called Stratic, I think that's pronounced right, that make the tumblers, they do make the cylinders here. So if you can get it through that company, I would go that route. I think it's probably a better quality than Crown Automotive. That's just my opinion. Like I said, this was the part number for it, but this part number I believe is for 03 to 06 Jeep Wrangler TJs. Check with Crown Automotive, go to their website, and make sure you're ordering the correct number for your vehicle. And that's really about it. Like I spoke earlier and said, this was the passenger side. This little window had to be facing upwards. The little window that I'm talking about here where it has to be raised up before it goes in the door, that's not really true. The window showing upwards is really just the orientation of that little bracket that's both with the orange clip and the purple looking clip. So that's all that really matters. I got confused. So when they actually go back in the door, those little windows are facing down no matter what. And I believe, again, I'd have to look at my pictures to be sure on this. I think, that didn't work right. Put the key in there. I think, like I said, that window has to be facing down. I think this piece went this way, but I don't know for sure. I'm gonna have to check my, pictures and go from there. So the cylinder locks are all the same. It's just the orientation of this bracket. I believe the brackets are, yeah, they look like they're really about the same. It's just the coloring of here, that clips onto the little, I don't know what the heck you call it, little wire thing, whatever it is. I'm having a brain fart. So yeah, that's really it. That goes there and put it back through the door. Now you'll see when you take them apart on the door itself, when this thing comes out, it's going to come out through the outside of the door. It's got basically, as you can see, these 4 little points here. That's what's actually going to go inside the door from the outside. You're not going to have to worry about this thing turning. It's going to lock in. Now, don't lose it. There is a rubber gasket that goes up against here. So you're going to slide that gasket on, then send it through from the outside of the door. And then once you put this thing, once it goes through the door, there's a plate, a clip that's going to lock in. And it's going to lock in through this little cut edge here. As you can see, it's going to lock in through there so the cylinder won't come back out. So that's really about it. In a nutshell, it's pretty simple. Local locksmith wanted to charge me $50 to do it. And I must have called about 8 of them up, and no one would call me back other than that one person. And when he said $50 and realizing he was almost 50 miles away or 40 miles away, I said, forget it. I'll figure out how to do this myself. I've got some other videos that are coming up soon. I'm about to re-gear an axle, just trying to save up, and hopefully I'll be able to put that out there maybe in a few months. I don't know. These parts and trying to get stuff in is kind of hard. No one has the parts. You're constantly searching for them. But anyway, please like and subscribe to the video. Hopefully there'll be some more stuff in the future, near future. The axle rebuild, and yeah, it's gonna be some pretty interesting stuff.